Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Geeked Out Show. I'm your host, Brandon Billingsley.
And I'm Nate Campbell.
As usual.
Yep.
And this week, we'll be talking about Alien Invasion. Bam! Homefront. Nate,
Homefront.
Tell me about Homefront.
Home is where the war is.
That's what they say.
Yep. Homefront. So, basic premise is this game sucks. Don't buy it.
Is that your recommendation?
That's my recommendation. Don't buy it. It sucks.
Yeah.
Graphics suck. Storyline is an interesting storyline, but other than that, it sucks.
That's such a shame.
Yeah.
Well, on to more pressing matters. Dragon Age 2.
Dragon Age 2.
Alien Invasion? No, not really.
No.
Dragon Age Origins was Alien Invasion.
Yes.
Dragon Age 2, surprise, is the sequel to Dragon Age Origins, except this time you're not following the exploits of the character that was in Dragon Age Origins. You're a separate character entirely, and you don't have the choice of different races like you did in Dragon Age Origins, but your character comes from the world of Dragon Age Origins, where originally from Lothering, which has been destroyed, if you recall, from Dragon Age Origins, and he is forced to flee north to Kirkwall, which, if anybody out there remembers, is across the sea north of Ferelden. And this is where the story takes place, is Kirkwall. Kirkwall. And we don't really know why we're playing through this game.
No.
At first. Well, actually, for the most part.
For the most part.
And I suppose that's a point of contention as far as the plot goes. How did you feel? Oh, let me explain it real quick. So you're just playing, but there's no like pressing matter. There's no blight. Or the world is gonna blow up.
You don't need to get to point A to point B, but in the time you have to go around.
So in that sort of sense, it's really an open world game.
Yep.
And I found that really interesting. But Nate, why don't you tell me what you thought about it?
I really enjoyed that idea because you don't know what you're really going for. So you kind of play it by the seat of your pants, and you just kind of wing it most of the time. I'm on the other hand, I kind of like to know what's going on, so I will replay a lot of scenes, which is bad for most.
Yeah, that's not role playing.
Most role playing, I'm just like, where did I save last? Oh, I could redo this scene. Let's try it a different way. I want a happy little world.
No, I didn't want that. Reload.
Reload. Quit game before it saves.
It's horrible. It's horrible. It's like choose your own adventure. Fucking. Oh, skip to page 37. Oh, I died. I fell down a cliff. All right, back. 24. Oh.
I guess I'll take this one. But I do enjoy like you not knowing.
How many times did you play through the Deep Roads?
I think like 4 times. Four times. Solid 4 times. Well, mostly because
it's just like in real life. If you don't like how it comes out,
I just push the rewind button. That's mostly because I have a time machine, but that's neither here nor there. What did you? What did you think?
I loved it. I loved the fact. See, I don't know why all over the internet I was reading stuff like, oh, you know, I don't really know why we're playing this game. Like the story, it's not pressing, it's not forcing me to, rise to this call of action. I mean that's like the sort of whole.
That's like every video game.
The hero's journey.
Yeah. It's
like common person, and then the call to action, and then the sage old advice, and the trials, and then finally the whatever. I liked that the story didn't follow that model. I liked that, excuse me, getting over this cold thing. I like that you feel like you have a choice, because when you don't see the end game of where the plot is going, so when you see the end game, and you're presented with a dialogue tree or a set of actions, you plan out how to get to that end game.
Yes.
And you can see how it's going to turn out. But if you don't know where that end game is, you don't really know what choices to make to get the best results.
Correct.
And that's just like real life. And I really enjoyed that. And for me, that was the core gameplay experience for me. The combat and stuff was purely aesthetic and fun to look at and watch and play. But the real gameplay for me was in the dialogue choices. This is where you could have your character be, a paragon, super nice paragon, or you could have a really snarky Joker type, which we both played.
Yeah,
as.
we both.
And then the stern, like, brah, don't fuck with me guy. But yeah, like I said, the dialogue is where the RPG elements are for me. Now, I finished the game, and I played it, but I played it on PC. Tell me about your console experience.
I played it on PS3, and the loading time.
Did you finish?
I haven't finished yet. Okay. I'm almost there.
Okay.
Almost there. But the loading time is ungodly long, and there's a lot of loading screens. Yeah. Because each part of the city, if you move throughout each part of the city, you have to load.
Yeah. Every time you change a section
of the city, you're loading.
You're loading. And I watched.
There's often missions. Yeah, there's also missions that like you have to go from like 3 different sections.
And they're small sections.
They're small sections where you're just like running through, talk to this character, loading screen. Oh, walk over, loading screen. Yeah. Loading screen. And it's like a good 35, 40-second loading screen.
For the console.
For the console.
I played it on the PC.
I watched you on the PC, and it's amazing.
So you know how they give the little, I'm going to look at the camera here. Right about here, they do the little tip dialogue. Yeah. Right about here, maybe.
Or like history or whatever. Yeah. They just kind of entertain your loading screen.
I tried to read those on my computer. I couldn't finish them half the time. I was like damn. Oh, fuck. And I was like, man, I wonder why they put these up here if the loading time is so short. And I watched you play, and I was like, wow.
I could read through like 4 of them, yeah.
Like, damn, I didn't know that about Ferelden.
The console needs more of those tips because I've read those same tips. There's like probably 20 of them.
I don't think I've seen them all.
I've read all of those tips so many times.
What do you think about the graphics on the console?
Graphics it's a good console graphics. Homefront sucks. I enjoyed it. You're
I like the little
our resident graphics expert here.
Yeah, I won't lie. I mean, that was one of the reasons I chose to play it on the PC.
Yeah,
and I downloaded the high resolution texture pack.
Of course, PC is going to be better. Like, come on. When are consoles better than PC?
Never, but sometimes they're closer. I mean, okay, to be honest with you, when I was playing on my computer and then I came over here to watch you play, and I looked at it, I was like, oh my god, how can you... What? Is that chest? Is that thing sparkling, or is that just a fucking fuzzy graphic? I couldn't tell. But yeah, I know, right? But
I enjoyed the graphics.
I mean, it's not like one of those showcase games about graphics. It's not
God of War 3.
It's not God of War 3. It's not any of those games. But I thought the graphics were really solid for me. They're acceptable
good. For you. They're acceptable. I didn't have any problems with, even the cutscenes of, your character talking.
Now, I want to ask you also about how you felt about the node system in the map. How there's nodes, you just low town, there's high town. There's
like insta travel?
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
I like it.
You like that?
I like it because, playing through those big world maps, World of Warcraft, Fallout, where you're just like running through. Okay. I hated just running through, just oh, here's happened to be a bad guy. Let me kill him to waste time walking to another. I really liked it. Be like, boom, 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 boom. I'm there. Done.
I like that option, but now this they did this in Dragon Age Origins, and this threw me off completely because they're like, oh, spiritual successor to Baldur's Gate, and in Baldur's Gate it was literally square by square by square that you would travel, but it wasn't node system. You would have to go through it, and I really like the ability to just go through town. I really wanted to just explore Kirkwall. I felt like I didn't get to explore enough of Kirkwall, in fact. And the parts that I did explore, especially when I was indoors or in a downstairs area or in a dungeon, felt like I was in the exact same place every single time.
Oh, yeah.
Take it away, Nate.
They have 3 maps.
Yeah, basically.
You have your mansion map, you have your warehouse map, and you have your cave map.
God, those fucking warehouses.
And the way they switch it up is they close doors. And so you can't go into certain doors. It still shows up. It still shows up on the mini map, and you can't go into those because the door option is not like open this door. And I'm like, here's this map again. I know exactly where to go.
Yeah, and that's a common gripe online. Is the fact that it was really annoying to go into you got fatigued from going to the same environments all the time. And sort of on that note is now you didn't finish the game, like we were talking about a second ago, but the end of the game doesn't feel as immersive
Yeah.
as the first like 2/3 of the game.
Oh yeah.
Because I was really taken away by the first half of the game, first 2/3 of the game. I was really, sucked in, and I wanted to keep playing, and I wanted to see these characters, and I wanted to see how everything was going to play out. But once you get to the end, like everything just kind of goes from 0 to 10, and then it's over.
It
goes from like 3 to 10.
Yeah.
And it's just like bam, done.
Nothing.
And it's like
Credits.
whoa.
Are they? Do you
Interesting.
think they're planning on for a 3?
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Dude, totally.
Is
In
this-
fact, I was reading some of the sequel, predictions, and some of them are pretty interesting.
Yeah?
Stuff like a war between like Orlais
Oh yeah.
and
The
Kirkwall or
French.
Ferelden. Yeah.
The French.
The next one might take place in Orlais. Who knows? And there's also some crazy shit about. So sorry, I took the time to read all the backstory that's in.
All those
Kirkwall.
codexes
All
that
the-
you find.
Yeah, I'm just annoying like that. And look at maps.
You've
and
got
stuff.
time.
Apparently, no, I don't. And apparently Kirkwall was basically back in the day a giant sacrificial altar for mages.
Yeah, it was a slave town.
No, beyond that. They used to
Beyond
just
that?
sacrifice fucking slaves like underground and shit.
Nice.
And like use that to harness energies. Oh man.
So it was like a big
And so like
blood
I want to
mage
see
type
like,
of thing.
Yeah, something like didn't get the whole thing because I actually only came upon this quest about halfway through where I was supposed to.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever. But I've been really confused as far as my feelings go. Like I've been seeing a lot of reviews online giving it between like a 7.5, like an 8.5, maybe a 9 every once in a while. But on that scale, what would you give?
On 1 to 10, I'd give it a solid 8, 8.5. I really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
There was a few bugs, sound bugs, but what video game doesn't have bugs?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there certainly were some bugs, but none of that was enough to detract.
Yeah, exactly.
For me.
The loading times definitely brought it down, though.
Yeah.
I could drink a cup of coffee in during those loading times,
Yeah.
and I'm drinking like 6 cups of coffee by playing for an hour, and that's
Backstab. That's how you play. Yeah,
Spam!
See, I love this game. Sorry, I'm pointing at it's on in the background right now. I love this game. This is one of my favorite RPGs in a very long time. Since never, well, I mean, Mass Effect 2, I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
But as far as like a fantasy setting RPG, this is one of my favorites of all time. I mean, just that whole dialogue gameplay. The dialogue gameplay is really what sealed it for me. And I would easily give it like a 9, a 9.5 if I were to give it a 1 through 10 rating.
So Mass Effect 2 or Dragon Age 2?
Oh, that's a tough choice.
You only could play one.
Probably Mass Effect 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd
Only
go-
because it's more polished. I mean,
Yeah.
Dragon Age 2 is not Mass Effect fantasy.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's
And
definitely-
that's really a shame. It really should have been. There's no reason it shouldn't have been. It's the same studio, same developers. It should have been. It's not. It's so much fun to play. Don't get me wrong. It's so much fun to play. And I love it. But Mass Effect 2 for me. What about you?
I would choose Dragon Age.
Really?
Yeah, I kind of like the storyline of Dragon Age. Mass Effect, the whole futuristic sci-fi.
Is that because you can't play as a girl in Mass Effect 2?
I think so.
You can or cannot?
I don't know. I think you can.
Can you?
Yeah, they always give you an option to play as a
okay.
chick. But I didn't like the whole finding ammo.
I guess that- Yeah, I guess
I hate the ammo.
But that's more action oriented.
Yeah, it is
Maybe
more
that's why.
action oriented.
No, it's really the polish is why I would choose Mass Effect 2. But like I said, I love Dragon Age 2. I would recommend anyone out there who's remotely into RPGs to buy it.
Trade in Homefront, buy Dragon Age.
Yeah, you're not gonna get that much for Homefront.
Damn it.
I tried. But stay tuned for our next episode, which should be coming out next week, where we review the awesome or not Sucker Punch.
Sucker Punch.
Well, maybe you've probably already read a lot of the reviews online, but we're going to give you our 2 cents on it
Yes.
next week. And until then, take care.